It is event number 5, and we are in Fort Wayne, Indiana for the 2026 PBA Indiana Classic. And welcome to our pregame show presented by AMF alongside Kyle Sherman, Rick Allen with you. And Kyle, you got to talk a little bit about this, the Mike Albee pattern that you took on in qualifying and had a great run, but didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, we were in it till the last game, fell a little short, but this week, high scores again on the PBA Tour. I mean, you had to get the feel, you had to strike a lot. You know, 220s felt like 190s, 190s felt like 150 games. You really had to keep the pace the entire week because these guys had their strike and choose this week.
When you say high scoring, I mean, we saw ridiculous scores in qualifying. A 1576 by Prather in one of the blocks. That third block was unreal. Ryan Barnes, by the way, was second in that block at 1560. And Ryan Barnes, by the way, is in this field also. So it seems like it's going to be high scoring. We thought high scoring last week, but this one could be even higher. Let's take a look at our step ladder graphic as far as the 5 that are going to be competing today. In the number 5 seed, it's E.J. Tackett. Number 4 is Ryan Barnes, who I just mentioned. Number 3, Timmy Tan. Number 2, Marshall Kent. And number 1, David Boog Krol. And we will be hearing from Boog at the end of our show here before we get underway with today's show on the CW. Let's talk a little bit, though, about last week and what happened in that final title match. We saw Santu was able to defeat E.J. Tackett to get to that title match against Anthony Simonson. And was there some redemption there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could tell that Simo was a man on the mission. You know, he still was kind of holding a grudge from that last week at the U.S. Open when he left that brutal 7-10 in the fill to lose the U.S. Open to Patrick Dombrowski. He had a chance to tie there. And you could just tell he kept that fuel and brought it into the next week. I mean, the U.S. Open, it takes so much out of you mentally. And yeah, you're sharp physically, you bowled a bunch, and you might think that carries over into the next week, but it also takes so much out of you mentally because you just grinded for so many games, so many patterns. And the fact that Simo could stay mentally tough and go, listen, I'm going to go into next week, I'm going to kick everyone's butt, I'm going to lead again, and I'm going to go get this win, absolutely impressive.
Well, and you mentioned grind. That final game was unbelievable. They both started off with spares, and then each went 9 strikes in a row. We saw 18 strikes in a row out of these two competitors. It looked like we were going to have a roll-off again.
I mean, an absolute slugfest from the two, both pacing 290, and then Santu, you know, he gets away with one the first shot in the 10th. Needs a strikeout to force Simo to also
let's
strike
show
out.
it. Yeah, we're going to show the 10th frame. You can talk them through it.
Yeah, Santu here. First shot in the 10th. Doesn't throw his best one, but gets lucky. Caves the 410 in there. You can see him get excited. Makes a little adjustment here. He liked this shot, but this was the trouble laying for the players the whole time on the show. Leaves a ringing 10, and then Simo, first shot in the 10th, needs to step up, throw a double to win. First one, pures it, stays calm. Second one here, even better. I mean, to throw a shot like that to win a title, I mean, you could just tell he was locked in. He was doing Simo things that day. It was extremely impressive.
It was very impressive, and he said that he was going to stay there at the lanes and work on some of the equipment.
Yeah.
It might not have helped him for this week's event because he didn't make the cut, but obviously Simo has that title already and is doing very well. Who will win the title today? Well, we're going to talk to the 5 finalists. We'll hear from them and plenty more here on the pregame show presented by AMF.
God, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. I'll believe it when I see it, though.
How positive is it actually going to be? You're going to make me read for the camera? That's terrible. You can get through hard times. Currently, right now, 100th in points. These aren't hard times. I'll get through them.
Did I just pick? You're right. You do bring joy into this world. Oh my God, I got so many of them.
You get better every single day. Look at the PBA spreading that positivity. It's rare out here.
You are so talented.
True.
Big one? Okay. Oh, goody. You are perfect just the way you are. That's so sweet.
Good one. Let's see it.
You can make a difference. Thank you.
You matter no matter what. That's cute.
I really need some positivity right now. I promise you. We've been out here for 4 weeks. This is week 5. I really need some. You're going to do great this week. Thank you so much. I need that very much.
All right, so you did some positive affirmations earlier this week, and it seems as though they've paid off quite literally. Do you feel like they helped you, though? Did it get you in the right mindset?
I mean, absolutely. You know, positive affirmations always help every single time you bowl. So just getting that positive self-talk that I got from Victoria this week definitely helped.
Now, rookie earnings record, 1, how does that feel? 2, did you buy anything yet?
Well, I'll start with the second question. I have not bought anything yet. Waiting till after the tour season, obviously. And it feels great being a little under halfway through the season and be able to break it. Obviously, the first week helped a whole bunch, but just hopefully keep growing that record.
Is there anything you have your eye on for when the season ends?
I don't know yet. You know, whatever comes to mind. Maybe I find a new place to live. That'll probably be the goal.
Okay, that's a big purchase, fair purchase. It's fair to take your time with that one. So we're going to be interviewing your buddy Ryan Barnes after this. If you could ask Ryan any question, reigning Rookie Player of the Year, what would you ask him? Because you know him pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know. Oh, that's such a tough one because there's so many good things I would ask him.
Get salacious.
Yeah, I would say, how does it feel for Brandon to have more titles than you already in his career? I would ask him that question. Oh, man. How does it feel that it only took me 5 weeks to beat his rookie earnings record? You could say that one. And then ask him how he likes the nickname Low Bro.
Okay. I feel as though most of those questions are going to end with the interview just being wrapped right away, but I appreciate it. Real quickly, though, we're going to throw to something fun from HBO's documentary, Born to Bowl.
This is one of my secondary homes, basically. Get some side money, some pocket money. I think bowling's kind of a unique sport where you don't need to be the strongest guy in the room or not exactly the most athletic. So I just started doing this. I think today's gonna be like the 6th day I've done this. 6-day active streak, woohoo! I was having back problems last season, so kind of a sign to like start taking care of myself. There's like small random stretches. When I saw some of these names, I'm like, what the f is this?
My shoulder blades have been really appreciative of this one.
Now we're almost to the toes. That's kind of nice.
Well, let Simo be an example. Stretch and hydrate, important in every sport. HBO's Born to Bowl 5-part documentary series debuted on March 16th and is streaming on HBO Max now.
And the PBA Indiana Classic format for today's event. And this week, the format started off as 96 players, and there were 24 games of qualifying, of which the top 32 advanced. And I don't want to bring up a bad subject, but you were right there, Kyle. You were right there.
Yeah, we were in it till the end. A little bit different format this week. First time we've used this one. And this is a bit of a pure format. There's no gimmicks. It's total pins. And the players really like this format. We bowled 24 games. Then we did a 6-game advancer round where we cut to the top 32. And then they bowled 6 more. Then we cut to the top 16. They bowled 6 more. So 36 games total to get to the show. And the players really like this format because there's no, like you said, there's no gimmicks. There's no matches. There's no bonus pins. It is just who knocked over the most pins. And when you're a guy like EJ or Simo, they like this format because they generally do knock over the most pins every tournament.
Okay, so let's dive a little bit more into this week and how it broke down. You mentioned going down to 32, then to 16. Ultimately, those 16 are fighting for the 5 spots that we're going to see today. And it got really interesting. First of all, I want to back up to that 3rd round of qualifying. That 3rd block was ridiculous as far as scores. I mean, we saw guys, I mentioned it earlier, 1576 for Prather, 1560 for Ryan Barnes. In 6 games, I mean, they were averaging over 260 for 6 games. So it was unheard of there. We saw big numbers. But then when we got down to the elimination of deciding the 5, it got really interesting, especially with EJ and Bill O'Neill.
Oh, yeah, these guys were just slugging it out. You mentioned Bill O'Neill and EJ. I was sitting back there watching, and in game, I believe it was game 4, they both have the front 6, and they're going shot for shot, and I think EJ was 30 ahead of Bill, and you can tell it's just when they would watch one guy strike, and then the other guy's like, all right, I got to get up and match him. And it was just like, oh, my God, this is so intense. And they both know exactly what they have to do. And it was just 2 Hall of Famers battling it out, and it was exciting. And, Bill bowled great. He ended up finishing 6th. But this is how high the scores were, Rick. He shoots 750, averages 250 his last 3 games, falls out of the show. I mean, it was unbelievable. So many strikes. It was crazy.
Well, he falls out of the show. The other battle that I was watching is who is going to be the number 1 seed, which Ryan Barnes throughout the week looked as though he was pretty comfortable at the top. I mean, it was going to be either Ryan, and Marshall Kent was up there. He was bowling very, very well. But then David Krol comes along. And in that last game, Ryan falters a little bit, throws, I think, 160, something like that.
I think he had a 163 that last game.
Yeah.
And that's a pair, actually, he struggled with before. The last time he hit that pair, he shot 170. So it was a pair that gave him issues. And again, since the scores were so high, 160 games, we're like shooting 90s on this because guys are just shooting 270s, 280s, 300s. And Boog, we talked to him. He looked over, he saw him struggling a little bit and goes, okay, I need to lock in here. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he did, through strike after strike after strike. And that is why he is the number 1 seed. All right, let's talk about the breakdown of 5 versus 4. We have, once again, a Rookie of the Year going up against Player of the Year. And Ryan Barnes up against EJ Tackett. Now, this isn't foreign territory here. We've seen it before. As a matter of fact, I want to flash back to when EJ Tackett was the Rookie of the Year, and he went up against, yes, that's right, Jason Belmonte as the Player of the Year. It's happened a couple times. Most recently, the one who has prevailed has been the Player of the Year. Now, you think, does Ryan Barnes look at history, or does he want to rewrite history?
Yeah, I think he's rewriting history. Ryan's got a little experience under his belt now. He's made a couple shows. We talked to him. His poise is so great for a young player. And, obviously, coming from 2 Hall of Famers, Mom and Dad, Linda and Chris, that obviously helps out a little bit. But just listening to him, he understands what he needed to learn from his other shows, mistakes he made. I think he's going to bring that in. And I don't think he's scared of EJ, because that last game of Ryan falling out of the 1 seed, I think put a fire in his stomach that he's going to come out swinging.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 5 seed first, though. Let's talk about EJ Tackett. He's a 5 seed. So far this year, this is the 3rd show he has made. He was the 1 seed. He was the 3 seed. This week, he's the 5 seed. Now, he lives 45 minutes from here, or 30 minutes. I mean, he's been staying at home this week. So he's got a lot of friends, family are going to be here. Is that added pressure?
I think EJ's used to it. He bowls here. When we bowled the U.S. Open in Indy, all his friends and family comes down, so I think he's going to be okay. But, man, EJ, how impressive. He wasn't, he kind of just crept up every block. He edged up another couple notches on the standings. And, we kind of joked at the beginning of this week. We're like, all right, they made him easier. Like, normally EJ's just ahead of the field so much. So, like, all right, well, we can't beat EJ, so the lame man allowed us all to get the EJ score this week, but then he still made the top 5.
Oh,
so, that guy's just a beast. It's incredible no matter what you put out. He just separates himself from the field.
When he's in this state, he is really, really impressive. Take a look at his finishes when he has been in Indiana. And the one that we put in really small print, thank you, Seth, for that, 12th in the 2026 U.S. Open. Yes, that was this year. But everything before that, you look at from 2020 all the way through 2025, he has finished top 5 in the state of Indiana. And he actually was disappointed that he wasn't the number 1 seed in this event. So obviously EJ Tackett is a favorite here, but he has to run the ladder. And it's possible he can do it. We go back to 2025. This is my house. You see Natalie there with Trey and a very happy EJ Tackett there. So EJ Tackett is going to be facing Ryan Barnes. Again, it's the Player of the Year versus the Rookie of the Year. Let's hear from the Rookie of the Year now in Ryan Barnes, who's standing by with Taryn Hatcher.
All right, Ryan. So our guys at the desk have already touched on it a bit, but reigning Rookie of the Year versus reigning Player of the Year. Is there any part of you that has like a little extra motivation for the young guns here?
Oh, of course, I want to beat up on the old guy. We're gonna give him all we got.
It's interesting. I was just talking to your friend Brandon.
Acquaintance.
I asked him what would he ask you if he got to take my mic. Most of the questions were a little bit of a chirp. The one I can ask is, how do you like being called Little Bro?
Oh my
and where does that name come from?
Okay, first of all, I started it. I was making fun of him, just kind of, little ego thing, but it's just for fun mostly. He's my guy.
Little ego thing. Sounds like it's a back and forth here.
Yeah.
How much does it mean to you to be able to compete for the title? Is there anything you want to prove? What's your mindset going into this one?
Yeah, I mean, getting that title that's the ultimate goal. That was my big goal coming to the tour this season. We're really looking. That's what we're working towards. So hopefully we can get that.
When you have your eyes on a prize like that, any pressure, anything you do to try to handle and mitigate that pressure?
I mean, really, it's just sticking to my process. Obviously, there's a little more extra want it factor, but just sticking to what I got and what got me here.
Well, you have to want it to get it, Ryan. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
If Ryan Barnes does go on to win today, he will join 5 other father-son duos that have won PBA titles in a very impressive list here with Dick and Pete Weber, Don and Jimmy Johnson, Don Eugene McCune, Guppy and Kyle Troop, and then Eugene and Kevin McCune. And again, if Ryan is able to get the win, then they will join that group. All right, let's look at the number 3 seed now in Timmy Tan. So the Malaysian monster comes in, and can Timmy Tan maybe come up there and win this event today?
Yeah, I think Timmy's starting to bowl with a lot of confidence right now. He made a little physical game tweak. I actually saw him. We were practicing at the same time last week, and our ball rep, Chris Schlemmer, gave us a little tip, or gave him a little tip just to fix his push away. And then once he did that, he just created a little feel. And sometimes for a guy like Timmy, he already has such a beautiful release that he just needs to feel it right, and he can just repeat like crazy. And you know what? Last night, I think Timmy showed a lot of courage. That game 5 of the block, he shoots 199 game. Yeah. Which, all of a sudden bunched him up to where he could fall out of the show. I mean, he was in it so convincingly. Then all of a sudden, he needs to show up. Shoots 279 to solidify himself in the 3 seed, so I think he's going to be ready.
Yeah, and in Malaysia, bowling is huge. Timmy has told us that he travels the world bowling for Team Malaysia. And so the one thing that he called different about bowling in the United States and the PBA is the ball changes. He said in Malaysia, they don't have a lot of ball changes, especially in game. And we might see it today multiple times where guys will change balls in the middle of the game.
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting. And I didn't really know that either. But coming over here, he said he had to make a lot more aggressive changes. Over in Asia, when he would bowl, they played a little safer. They don't change balls as much, maybe wait till the end of the game to change. Well, out here bowling against these PBA guys, they are so good that you got to make changes like that because you'll just fall behind. So look for Timmy to make aggressive changes today and try to stay ahead of the pace. And with the guys he's going to have to bowl against today, he's going to have to do that.
And Timmy, one of the bowlers that is looking for his first PBA Tour title. It would be very big if he got it here. All right, let's go to Marshall Kent, who is the number 2 seed. And Marshall is a bowler who's got 7 titles already, won a major. And he talks about, at the beginning of the season, he thinks about the Hall of Fame because he's very close to being eligible for the Hall of Fame. And that's something that fuels him.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, Marshall's a Hall of Fame caliber bowler. I've been bowling against Marshall my whole career. In college, or in juniors, he was the man. College, he was the man. And Marshall's always been great. When he clicks, when he figures it out, he is so tough to beat. He's had a couple stretches in career where, maybe he's had some lulls, but as soon as he feels something go right in his physical game, that man can strike as much as anybody.
All right, let's hear from the number 2 seed. He is with Taryn Hatcher.
Thank you, fellas. Well, Marshall, you're here, ready to go, I'm assuming. How are you feeling? What is the mindset right now and after this week?
Well, the mindset is just keep making good shots like I have been all week. I haven't been the greatest mentally the last few weeks, and it's definitely shown in my results. So coming in this week, I told myself that, dude, you gotta change this. Like, you can't be thinking like this anymore. So came into this week with a whole new game plan mentally and physically, and here we are bowling for a title.
You made a great comment to me earlier when we were talking. You said, I felt like before there was a little aspect of playing for a check and everything that hurt or everything that went wrong felt like it was hurting that chance versus playing for a trophy, playing to win. And right now you feel like you're back in that right mindset about playing to win. What was the switch that flipped that you were able to find your way back to where you wanted to be with that?
I don't think I could really pinpoint it to a certain moment that actually flipped the mindset. It just kind of happened, I guess. Just kind of looking back, I'm like, I've just been trying to make the cut instead of saying, I gotta look higher. And I don't remember who said it, but someone said if you're always trying to make the cut, you're going to be around the cut. If you're trying to win, you're going to be around the shows. So I had to change that mentality, and it's paying off so far.
Be around the show. Today, you are in the show. Marshall, thank you so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Guys.
And now we are with the #1 seed for today's event, and that is David Boog Krol. And I threw David in there so that we make sure. Your mom gave you the nickname Boog. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
All right. So it's okay to call you Boog from here on out?
From now on.
All right. #1 seed. It's the first time you've ever had the #1 seed. Are you confident going in?
I am very confident. I kind of snuck my way into the #1 seed the last game. So I have 12 shots to win the title.
And with that, I mean, we talk about what an amazing last game you had to get that #1 seed.
Yeah, it was incredible. I didn't really know what was going on score-wise. I just knew that I just needed to throw one good game to make the TV show. That's all I want to do is make the TV show and have a chance at the title. But luckily enough, was able to throw some very good shots at the very end and sneak into the #1 seed.
Yeah, I would say so, Boog. I mean, your season got off to a little bit of a rough start. What clicked for you, especially last week finishing 6th and then this week leading an event?
Yeah, so the first 3 weeks were very rough.
Yeah.
I didn't make a single cut. I broke the top 70 once, I think, in the first 3 events. And out here, that's not good for us. Just the mental reset and just enjoying the game a whole lot more. I was pressing shots way too often. And when it comes down to it, we get to play a game. And just trying to enjoy this game as much as I can.
Well, watching you bowl, especially when you're striking, there's very few people that have more fun than you on the lanes.
I have the most fun in this game.
Okay, he mentioned 6 a week ago, and now you're the #1 seed. Momentum is obviously moving in the right direction for you. What has changed?
Just the mindset has changed. I came into this week just wanting to have fun again, and I'm just trying to grow every week. The first 3 weeks were slow growth, but then going from the middle 50s to 6th, big jump, and then now to leading, incredible. Worst case scenario, I'm 2nd. Like, that's a great mentality to have, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not banking on winning. If I do, great. But next week is the Masters, and we're going to try to bowl well again.
We're banking on you winning. So what's your pre-match routine going to be? Are you going to watch all of the other games, or are you going to stay and just warm up the whole time on the warm-up lanes?
I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to warm up on the warm-up lanes when they're warming up on the pairs, watch the actual matches, come over for the TV breaks, and then just go back doing my whole process, practicing, going back and forth.
Well, Boog, I wish you the best of luck, man. I'm excited to see these running out shots. I want you off the approach by the time the ball hits the
I'm going to be standing on the ball return. I hope Dave Smalls is okay with that.
If anyone watched you during qualify, man, you were running them out 3 lanes, man.
It's all about the energy.
It is. Well, you bring it, that's for sure.
I try my best.
He has definitely got the energy, and so we're going to let him bring that energy to the show, which begins right now. So make sure to tune to the CW. Again, this has been the pregame show brought to you by AMC. It's time for the big show.